Okay, I need to start downtown because I was a student here in the School of Photography from 1964 to 1968. Now, RIT was supposed to move here in the fall of 1967, but some of the buildings were not ready. So I had to wait 1 year. During that time, they've increased the number of students that would be accepted in the School of Photography. And one day, the assistant director had all of the class lists of first-year classes, and he had 5 sections, or 1 to 5, and only had 1 teacher for number 1. The other 4 were blank, nothing. So panic happened. And the director of the School of Photography decided to hire 4 graduates right this minute to get us started here in the fall of '68. So I was one of the 4, and this was for 1 year only. We couldn't depend on permanent employment. That was an emergency situation. And the 1 year was told to us many, many times.
And you were hired to teach hearing students?
Well...
Or deaf?
Well, that's what happened. That's a special situation here, is that the fall of 1968 was also the start of the first pilot group, as it was called, of 70 students. And all 5 sections of photography added deaf students in the class. So that was my first introduction to deafness. It was really the first time I was meeting a deaf person, because there's none in my family. So that was it.
Wow.
But that's not what impressed me the most. At the end of the first class, Ed asked the interpreter what my accent was, if it was French or German. And Ed was really deaf. He was not hard of hearing. And when I heard that from the interpreter, and that was Alice Beersley, and she said it has to be with a big smile. And I said, wow, I was impressed. So that really made it easy for me later to move to NTID, especially when the School of Photography continued to say, 1 year only. And NTID was recruiting a lot at that time, and they hired me and one other School of Photography teacher, Larry, and both of us were here for many years. In fact, myself, I completed 43 years plus 1/4.
So you started in 1968?
In the School of Photography with my first deaf students, and then in the summer of 1969, moved to NTID. And that summer we had our first meeting, and there was about 30 new people, and it was Bill Castle who did the introduction. And to my memory, he didn't have notes. And the only mistake, and it's not really a mistake, he made was he forgot Butch Mothersal's nickname. Lawrence, but Butch, he forgot.
He forgot. But he knew all the names of the 30 people by heart.
And where we were from, what we did before, if we had completed a PhD, he knew about the dissertation. I was really impressed. I mean, I've never seen anyone that good.
Who hired you then? Was it Bill Castle?
It was through Bill.
And Frazina both?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, because it was pilot group, I mean, we had probably the best students to start with. So that helped a lot. And the first impression really was that I mean, this is a group, this is a something that is starting here, new with blank sheet of paper. I mean, money was not a problem at that time, and the people were really given carte blanche to do their best. It meant that if you wanted to try something that's never been tried before and it sounded reasonable, you were allowed to do that.
So we essentially...
well, there was one word that became the NTID motto at that time, and the word was flexibility. Okay, I mean, that was a key, important word in how NTID did its early business.
Okay.
Let it be flexible. Well, really, NTID truly started downtown. Fresina, even the first teacher here was Bob Panera, and Bob was downtown before we moved here. And I remember during spring quarter, Bob visited all the classes on campus to introduce NTID to the other colleges and students here.
Wow.
Was an interesting experience. I think Bill was in engineering, College of Engineering.
Okay.
And I think Bob might have been in Eastman.
Okay, interesting.
Now remember, in those, let's see, we moved here, what, 74?
Yes, I think.
So from 68 to 74, we had to beg, borrow, sometimes steal space from the existing colleges.
Mm-hmm.
I remember some offices you had to walk past the boiler room, the mechanical room, to get to the offices. I mean, we really didn't have the nicest places to work from, but didn't matter. Well, I had two sign names. My official sign name was Naud, because my last name is French and the D is silent, the A in the U, it's like O, so it looks like no. And I always tell the stories, do you remember my last name? And you say no. I said, well, that's it. But it's more fun in restaurant. They always ask, do you have reservations? Yes. Could I have your last name? No. And I really get strange faces. Well, students, well, early I've lost my hair. So what students did was use the N and and those early days, there was not that many faculty with the last name starting with N. Well, the biggest change is size. More people, more bureaucracy. Somehow management showed up one day. We were working 12 months and really all day, often nights. So the amount of work and the freedom we had slowly changed to more formal way of conducting business. And that probably was necessary because of size, getting bigger. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest change.
Do you think those changes were for the most part positive or negative?
I think positive for one reason. You couldn't have, 200 operators, by themselves. Need some coordination. And that's the price for success. For probably the first 10 to 15 years, we would meet during the summer because we're still on 12-month contract, and we would have how will NTID be organized this coming year. So every year that happened. And the reason for it was that there were ways of improving how we did business. And with both Fresina and Castle, they were very open to make changes. They were not strict on how they behaved. They were not strict on how to conduct business. So they felt that if NTID can be set up better, do it. And we were doing it every year. Then over time, we got good, and those changes were not as required as before. When we started, I mean, it was photography that was chemically based. I mean, we had dark rooms, and you know, we did things in complete darkness. Those days are gone and been all replaced. In NTID here on campus probably was one of the first colleges to truly introduce computer at the earliest time possible in classroom, in labs, and in curriculum. What's interesting is I started as an assistant ed specialist, and with really, like, you know, previous to a support department. And my last quarter here was to replace someone on the support team doing basically what I did during my first year with NTID. So it's coming a full circle. Well, I was, you know, really support team at the beginning, then became a teacher, then became a department chair. My department at one time was one of the rare departments that merged with another department on our own decision, not being told to do so. Oh. One day we found out, we kind of woke up one morning and said, you know, I have photography media here, we have printing, really, we're kind of, especially because of the technology, more and more combining, merging together. So I said, doesn't make sense that, you know, we're separate, we should be one department. And we proposed that and it was accepted. So that's one of the big changes I've seen happening. Many years, and plus I also was involved in keeping track of faculty's salaries, and that has helped everyone here in moving the faculty to higher pay grades over the years.
So when we remember you, we should remember you with a dollar sign.
Every time you get something from your TIA or CREF or whatever.
Oh, well, I will remember you for sure.
No, and remember, here's something not many people know. The institute contribution max was 8% in the late 60s. And there were some evaluations of salaries, of pay, and one individual made it his goal to improve that. So the max to 10%, we can thank Bob Fresina for that. He championed that move.
The story in itself.
Right. I know.
Oh. Well, I've enjoyed this.
It's one of those that you can take to the bank. patience does help. Also, being organized is critical, especially through my whole career here. The Institute was on a quarter system, so 10 weeks is a very, very short time to get something done well. So being well organized definitely required. And the patients, the one thing that I've struggled over the years was with the communication, because we had such a variety of communication skills from the students, including myself. And also keeping up with the technology. There's one interesting story I need to add now.
Okay.
The architect firm for this building was Stubens. I think the spelling may not be correctly. They're from Boston.
Mm-hmm.
They also did the Gannett building, and that had the School of Printing and Photography there. So somehow when they designed LBJ in the facilities for the program we have here, they did not ask anyone on the faculty or staff here to review what they were doing.
For this building?
For this building. So one day, Larry and myself got to see the drawings for the first time, and we'll look at those, and I said, no way. This is not acceptable. There's no way we could teach the program we have here now in those facilities. They need to be revised.
Oh. What was wrong with them?
Well, they were designed for programs that were like at the BS level. A lot of photography emphasis, no lab emphasis at all. It was a terrible match. So we had to fight that one out, and lucky enough, both Castle and Frisino realized that what we were saying made sense, and now it became a question on how to revise those. And that's where I learned that there are things in a building you can't touch. Columns. You can't take a column off here because the floor above needs support. So we had to revise the drawing, and somehow we had to leave some column in the middle of hallway. But we ended up with facilities that were really good for us. And to this day, I'm appreciative that both Castle and Frisino listened to us, who were really at the bottom of the ladder.
Can you imagine, had they not listened to you, how it would be so different?
Well, it would have been useless. They would have to pay money later and redo all of it.
Oh my God. Wow.
So double the expense, probably.
Yeah. So they were good leaders, very good leaders.
Well, for many reasons. One, they listened.
Mm-hmm.
Second, they were definitely smart.
Mm-hmm.
Third, they had experience. And they were very good with people.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, is the success of graduates. I mean, we have graduates everywhere doing well. So that really satisfies all of our efforts here, not only me, but everyone here on the team. Really, that's the reason why we're here. That's a problem now that with time, especially when I don't review anything, I'm kind of losing some of the names.
That's fine.
But I will never forget the faces.
Right.
And I do remember, they know who they are. Well, they probably would say I was always available, always kind of friendly. I'm never upset person. Said before, if you are in this business, you better be patient. That probably are the main points. But this question is best to ask them. You know,
Well, maybe we will.
I may be a little colored here. NTID, my opinion, and I think you can prove that, NTID has been successful. There's no question about it. Also, NTID has helped other institutions becoming successful like us here. So in doing this, we're probably not as unique as we were. Also with the changes in government, without starting discussing politics, I don't know how long NTID will continue to get the support it gets. I think forever, because there are things that NTID is best equipped, best organized to do, including research. And with being one of the college here, and especially with RIT as the host institution, going more and more toward research and PhD program, I think that is probably one of the best places for deaf, hard of hearing students to go to graduate schools and get doctoral degree. I don't know of many other places who could compete with us here. I doubt it. Come back more often.
Nice.
Not, every 10 years.
Okay, nice, nice.
Try to come back every year.
Fabulous.
Because there are fantastic changes happening every year.
There sure are.
This is a special pin that the past president, Bill Dessler, had made. And if he meted people for special something, it would give him the pin. So if later he saw the individual with the pin, he knew he interacted with that individual and probably tried to remember the name and why.